Yeah.
Trauma Tone.
What's the word, y'all? It's KTR _podcast, Another Rose Podcast. You are now live and direct with Cinko, Big Harv, and J-Bo himself for episode 11. How y'all doing today? It is Tuesday like we always do.
Yeah. Doing good, buddy. Just another day.
Long day.
Long day.
Long day for you, buddy.
Long, I know, man. Well, we got you, man. Everything is going to be good. But before we get into episode 11 for today, be sure to go follow us on all social media platforms. KTR _podcast, Twitter, Instagram, Another Rose Podcast, Facebook, YouTube, Another Rose Podcast on all podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, any podcast platform you can find, we are on there. Also, I just found out the other day, we are also on Podbean. It just popped up. It literally popped up on my social media the other day. Like, wow, okay, that's another one right there. So we're on Podbean too. Like I said, we are on every social media platform you can find.
Wow.
All of them. Just go look. Just type in Know the Ropes Podcast. No special spellings. Everything is straightforward. You get the gist. But anyway, we're gonna get to episode 11 because we're not gonna hold you up with any more talking. First, we're just gonna get into the biggest subject of them all. Recently, unfortunately, the New Day were split up due to the WWE draft. People were happy. People were sad. I was heartbroken. I didn't want to see it. I feel like they could have stayed together and Big E could have got a singles run, but no. Some people like Big Harv wanted to see separation in division amongst people. I'm talking. I'm not done yet. Like I said, some people with dark hearts and hatred in their souls wanted to see happiness just shatter and crumble underneath the WWE. And that's exactly what happened. It felt like my heart was torn out my chest right here on the left side. But anyway, they had a great run.
Mm-hmm.
Six and a half years. 6.5 years from a gimmick we thought that was going to epically fail bad, that started off horrible for like the first year and a half, but they made a way. They came up and they were creative and just made the best of it. And what they were like 8-time, 9-time champs?
Multiple times.
Yeah, multiple time champions, world tag team champions, Raw, Smackdown, overall, anything, but they are top tier. But would you consider them as the number one faction in the WWE history? J-Bo, what you think?
So I believe that it's arguable that they are one of, if not the top WWE produced faction. The reason why it's arguable is that you can look at a lot of great factions that was put together. You know, like Harv said while we was texting over this, you know, he brought up DX and he brought up the Shield. Obviously, great factions that were there to be produced. But the one benefit that the New Day has that the other factions cannot claim is that the New Day never turned on each other. Even when they had moments where it kind of seemed like it, especially when they was feuding with the Wyatt family at the moment, they really did look like they was about to turn, but they kept it together and they continued on. They got a WWE championship out of the run, multiple tag team titles out of the run. They had multiple great merchandising sales for the people who like the business aspect of it. I mean, they're just completely successful. For 6.5 years, they just been top tier in the tag team division. So it's extremely arguable. And I would even be one to even argue that they are the top one that WWE produced at this point.
Big Harv.
First of all, I never said that I wanted them to break up. I said it was impending because of WWE being WWE. I was being realistic, as I always am. All right, that's all that was. New Day could have gone on forever. I would have been happy with it, honestly. Now, did I see potential in their singles runs? Absolutely. As soon as the injury with Xavier Woods happened, and then they started giving Big E some time to go solo, is when I said that it was, it was coming, it was impending. So, it was the right time for it, if there was ever a time for it. As far as the conversation of best WWE produced faction, I would argue that they are top three. they were dominant without it being boring or like overpowered on one side, lopsided. They made every feud matter, every match. We saw New Day and the Usos go at it I don't know how many times and never got tired of it.
Never.
Best tag team rivalry right there.
That was of this generation, hands down, the best tag rivalry right there. So based on their accomplishments, the fact that they never turned on each other, the drama within the group, they actually showed that, but didn't actually pull the trigger in a way that it didn't get boring or feel like we get knee jerked or whatever, absolutely, they're definitely top three. I couldn't even give you the order of the top three, but they are solid in the top three. Like, it's just nothing you can say that would take them. They got famous pouring cereal called Booty O's and pancakes in the mouths of adult white men. Black men. That's all I'm gonna say.
It was more than just men.
It was more than men. It was more than men. Yes, it was more than men. But the fact that they had the heads up with the tongues out, these adult white men, for three black men to shovel stuff in their mouth, bootios. That's for me. That's phenomenal. That's
they wanted to make sure they wasn't booty. Fun. But with that being said, you said they are top three though. So who would be the other two then, in your opinion?
The other two, and we're talking WWE produced, would be DX and the Shield.
Yeah. Okay. J-Bo?
I don't feel like really in any other factions could overtake those two.
Well, okay, so I agree. Another benefit that the New Day has, though, is that all three characters are interchangeable with each other. So even though, like Kofi, he had his WWE title reign. Big E right now is getting a single run. Like, when they are on tag team spectrum, it does not matter who is tag teaming.
Yep,
they were all equal.
It did not matter. Yep.
You know, and Brett, I'm going to carry off of Harv said with, honestly, the Usos and the New Day being one of the best, if not the best, tag team rivalry in our generation. The biggest shock to me was, I remember the Hell in a Cell tag team match that they had, and then they put Xavier Woods in there, and I'm thinking, this is a big tag team match. Don't you want to put Big E and Kofi in there against them? But I mean, Xavier Woods, I mean, he's been cutting down critics for years, and him being put in that faction, it's just definite that group altogether, it's just one of the best. Easily. Exactly
with that, because everybody would have thought Xavier Woods would be the weakest link out the group and just the mouthpiece and manager of the group, but he held his own in the ring, and like he's not a slouch, like he can wrestle. So
he was exciting, definitely.
Right.
I can also argue Evolution before we move on to anything else. Evolution also deserves to be up there interchangeable in the top three. Evolution.
I agree with that too.
I'm top five.
He said top five.
Yeah. I said there's no particular order, so I can't really say where they go. But yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
All right, since we're talking about with the tag teams and so we just talked about the WWE draft and everything, and so now you see how different rosters are on different shows now. It's been the shakeup. Some people stayed, some people left, some people are still free agents at the moment. But with that being said, Friday Night Smackdown and WWE Monday Night Raw have their premieres recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yep.
And good shows. Raw changed up their theme song. I kind of like it. I was like,
I like NF. Great artist.
I can get jiggy with this. Yeah. And SmackDown was, honestly, it was a phenomenal show for real. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, like the premiere was hands down top tier. Yeah, but with that being said, which show do you think, which premiere you think was better? Which show you think will prosper in the future more? Raw or SmackDown?
All right. Okay. Cinko, I liked how you changed up that question because the initial question was, which roster won, but then you said which roster had the better future. So that's actually kind of different. So as far as who had the best roster win, let me start there. I'll say Raw won that one, mainly because they got big names that are already established. Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, AJ Styles, Hurt Business. 2/3 of the New Day is on there. Braun Strowman. They got established women's champions and
Keith Lee.
Asuka, Alexa Bliss, Charlotte. They have all of those. However, I do want to say that SmackDown has the bigger future when it comes to possibilities. They got Roman Reigns who's doing great as a heel right now. Seth Rollins finally coming over to SmackDown, so I'm interested in seeing how that works. Mysterio, you already know that's going to be a household name.
Yeah,
the
right.
Street Profits
That's right.
is on SmackDown. That's cool. Aleister Black is coming out with his newer-ish persona. And then you got Sasha Banks, Bianca Belair, like spearheading the women's division on SmackDown. So I think Raw won with the heavy hitter rosters, but I think SmackDown got the much better future that they have with potential.
Big Harv.
I agree. It basically balanced itself out, like we were saying. Raw is the more veteran show, so they got the more veteran seasoned individuals, and SmackDown, it's the younger show of Raw, so it got the more the people you're going to be looking for in the future, the people that you're more looking toward to do more in the future.
Yep.
So I agree basically with everything you said, J-Bo. Raw won if you're looking in terms of star power, and SmackDown won in terms of the future of the industry. People who are going to lead it into the next generation. SmackDown is what you're going to look at for that.
Easy.
Well, that being said, I agree that Raw won with the roster because they got Randy Orton. So that was a hands down right there, obviously. But with the show in the future, I agree with SmackDown because SmackDown has the entertainment aspect.
Okay, yeah.
And I love entertainment. I like when people can hold their own, not only in the ring, but on the microphone. You got to keep my attention, That's why it's called World Wrestling Entertainment. Wake up, Harv. I ain't boring. You know this.
And he forgot that the second word in there that comes before entertainment is wrestling, but whatever.
But it all matters what comes at the end. Entertainment. Entertainment sells tickets. Entertainment is the merchandise. Entertainment gets you the commercials. Entertainment gets you the money.
Entertainment gets you to change the channel if it ain't good.
Dang, that's how you feel.
All of a sudden, I have just the greatest urge to take a leak. And that's
you probably seen a boring match. That's why. But you wouldn't take a leak during a promo. Depends who's doing the promo. If it's on SmackDown, you holding it. If it's on Raw, you kind of run to the bathroom at 7:00 p.m. Central Time. But But with these roster changes, we were talking about Raw and SmackDown potential members, and you heard that I yelled out Keith Lee's name because J-Bo forgot to mention him. I have no idea why or how.
But hey, like that's another point in that Raw won in terms of star power. But yeah, let's talk about Keith Lee.
Yeah, Keith Lee. He had an interesting match against the monster Braun Strowman, which he lost due to a low blow and a big boot to the face. But with that being said, he had a little twitch, he kind of backfired and kicked the monster in the nuts and was hovering over him talking smack. And it looked like he showed like a little, dark side to him for a minute. And, he hasn't been winning as many matches as we wanted him to. Since he's been on Raw,
that was going to happen
due to either disqualifications or taking L's, one or the other, but that's neither here or there. But do you think that is, getting him to a heel turn? And if so, do you think he should have a heel turn? What you think? Touch on it real quick.
Man, they're gonna ruin him. It just is what it is. They're gonna ruin him. No, he doesn't need a heel turn. And Sam, that I'm a heel turn guy. All right.
Which is why I had you go first.
Right.
No, not Keith. Not at this point in his career. It's a terrible, terrible, terrible misstep. But that's exactly what it looks like is going to happen. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to use a low blow and do all that them extra mannerisms if that wasn't what they were going towards. He doesn't have the what's the term, tweener, that's they call him when you're in between. Yeah, he doesn't really have that quality either. He's a face. He's a baby face. Push him as a baby face. Build him as a baby face. Let him run as a baby face. They're pulling the trigger on that way too soon.
I agree 1,000%. When I saw him kick him in the low blow, the first thing I saw was career over. It was
Career
I
over?
do not. Yes, Keith Lee is not a heel. He's not a heel. There are just some wrestlers who are exponential as a face, like Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston is not a heel. Okay, he's just not. Okay, Keith Lee, he's pretty much along that same spectrum. He is not a heel. He's that big, lovable guy that can do all different kind of things inside the ring. He is not a heel. He does not come off as a heel. Even when he showing his ruthless aggression side, he's still a face. So there is no reason to turn him heel. The only reason why I see him turn the heel is obviously because Vince McMahon sees something completely different than what he is in NXT or anywhere in the independent circuit. Plus, they ain't really got no fans for real, so they can do pretty much whatever the heck that they want with him. And so I'm thinking they're just saying, hey, let me see how you're gonna be as a heel. Go out there in your leotard and just go wrestle. See, it doesn't make sense. I don't see a payoff for this at all. So no, I don't agree.
Not a good one.
What about you, Cinko?
Like I said, I don't see him as a heel. Like, you know,
no.
This is just another thing that's ruining him. Besides them taking away his entrance music, now this making it heel, and it's just.
And now they're taking away his career. That's right.
It's strike 3 right there. So yeah, like it's nothing there I could touch on about. Like y'all say everything is I don't agree with, but hey, I feel like there's already too many heels on Raw anyway. Why we need another one?
That's a good point.
You know,
Raw
like who is the only face on Raw? McIntyre. That's it. Like from a mainstage perspective, like Orton's a heel.
Why is
Why is a heel that crazy people like for some reason? No, he's that person.
He's a tweener. Yeah.
He's a heel, but people like Harv cheer him on.
He's always been a tweener. No, Bray Wyatt's always been a tweener.
Bray Wyatt is a heel at the end of the day. No matter what you try to say, how you turn it, he is a heel. Y'all just like bad people. Y'all just like bad guys. That's it. His
character's alternative.
No, it's not. He's a heel. There's no way you can twist the words around. Y'all just like bad guys over good guys. That's what it is.
Crazy.
No, y'all crazy because y'all want to cheer for the bad guys and bury the good guys so they turn bad. Then y'all love them all over. Then they get good. Y'all see, y'all some bipolar fans. I got a message for y'all people that like bad guys. Hold on, we're gonna get off top for a second. Why do y'all like to cheer for all the bad guys until they get good? Or why y'all boo the good guys until they get bad? I don't understand that. It doesn't make sense. Let them live. Let them survive. Let them be successful. But anyway, let me get off my rant real quick because I almost got mad. But anyway.
We'll let you have your little rant, Cinko.
Thanks, appreciate it. Harv make me mad. Like
his rant that didn't make
over here doing the Firefly. In the when we was at Raw, waiting this flash, everybody was cheering when he was a bad guy, but that's another story. But anyway,
dude, Randy Orton is your favorite wrestler right now, and
just because he's my favorite wrestler don't mean only time
he's a heel.
He's from
he's
St.
a
heel.
He's a heel. He's a heel. Are you?
My favorite wrestler is Otis.
Enzo was a heel. Enzo was a heel.
Enzo started off as a good guy.
No matter how you started off, that don't matter.
Because
how did he ascend? You love to talk about what he did for the cruiserweights, right? How did he ascend?
He made 205 Live great.
By being a heel.
By being a heel.
But he was already my favorite wrestler when he was a good guy. But anyway, moving on. Actually, this is a fun fact right here. 3 years ago today, I met Enzo Amore and I shook his hand. He was my favorite wrestler. He was in the WWE. Shout out to Enzo Amore. If you ever listen to this, you the guy. You the real one. But anyway,
Yeah, you said when you shook his hand, you noticed his skin was
anyway. We're going moving going because I don't want to hear it.
SAWFT soft.
Yeah, see, we're just gonna bleep this out in the edit, so yeah, I ain't gotta worry about it. But anyway,
oh man,
Hell in the Cell pay-per-view is around the corner. It's actually coming up this Sunday. If y'all listen to it, you got some good matches on the card. You know, we got the Universal title, got the WWE title, got the women's title, but you know what's left off? The mid-card titles. Have you noticed that? The United States title and the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
This isn't the first time that this has happened when mid-card titles have been left off a pay-per-view. And it's kind of making it seem like the mid-card title picture doesn't matter in a sense. But there was an article that our dear friend, our dear co-host, J-Bo himself, checked out on Wrestling News Co. And he talked about a conversation with Vince McMahon and Chris Jericho. Let's touch on that real quick. What happened in there?
So Chris Jericho, he did an interview with an interview organization, and in the interview, he spoke to Vince McMahon around WrestleMania 29. This was back when Wade Barrett was the Intercontinental Champion. Chris Jericho was currently and still is a 9-time Intercontinental Champion, and he brought up to Vince. He said, "Hey, this is a perfect opportunity for me to get my record-breaking 10th Intercontinental Championship run. What did you think I go for it against Wade Barrett at WrestleMania?" And apparently from Chris Jericho's mouth, he said that Vince McMahon says no one gives a F about the Intercontinental title. Okay. Chris Jericho then said, well, no one cares about Fandango, which he was, in the program with. And Vince McMahon simply said, hey, look, you just have to make it work. The point is that apparently Vince McMahon himself, even dating back to WrestleMania 29, just does not see anything with the mid-card title. For those of y'all who don't remember, Chris Jericho did not get his wish. He did end up going against Fandango and losing, while the Intercontinental title match was Wade Barrett versus The Miz in one of the most forgettable Intercontinental title matches of all time.
You said forgettable.
Easily.
That's the first time I heard it. Like, not unforgettable, the most forgettable, man.
Forgettable. Easily. So the question here is, what is the point in, at least in the WWE, of the mid-card title? If the main chairman of the WWE said to himself that nobody cares, including him, about the mid-card, what's the point of even having them at this point? United States title or the Intercontinental title, especially with Hell in a Cell being this Sunday and there's still no matches for either one of them, what's the point of even having them? What's the point? Harv, what do you think?
I feel like if you look at it, periodically this happens all the time in WWE. They get bored or they just don't care enough for the mid cards. Sometimes they do it with the tag teams. They never do it with the world titles, but we'll have moments in history where tag team wrestling is just trash. There's no tag teams, just the title holders. They're never on pay-per-views. They don't do anything. Or they lose in handicap matches to whoever they're trying to build, that type of crap. Then you have it with the mid card. It's criminal that the mid card titles aren't featured more. They used to be one of the biggest draws in the company. Like, it used to mark people for greatness. If you won the Intercontinental, if you won the IC title, you was destined to be world champion. That's how it was at one point. US a little bit iffier, but there were times where there were superstars that elevated that title to where it was coveted and to where when you held the title, it mattered. Vince is not the fan base, which is why he makes so many mistakes and does so many stupid things. So to him, it doesn't matter. I feel like to most people, most actual fans, it does matter. It's just unfortunate that our voices aren't, you know what I'm saying? He don't care. He gonna push it out. We gonna watch it, and it is what it is. But yeah, it's criminal, man. It's trash, absolute trash.
But I agree on it, because really with the mid card title, it's really, to me, it's basically showing who's next up in the company. To be the head honcho, to take the lead of being the face of whatever brand you're on, whether it's the US title, whether it's the Intercontinental title, or whether it's the North American title. Like, it shows who's supposed to be next up to be that world champion. Like for instance, a great example, like some people hate him, some people love him. John Cena. John Cena won the U.S. title. What happened a year later? WWE champion. Look at him, 6-time champion. That was his stepping stone. And honestly, when he was U.S. champion, he made that title look more favorable than the WWE title when JBL had it.
That's right.
Yeah, because he was hot.
Exactly. Like some people can make that mid-card title more relevant. And like another thing, like with hate to say it, but like the Miz, he made that title interesting because he heard a lot of great storylines with it, and he made it prestigious and like whatever he did, in ring, outside the ring, whatever he did, like he made it interesting.
Cody Rhodes making it white.
Yeah, Cody Rhodes.
When he made it white, I mean, it did. It brought a lot of attention to it, and then he turned that into something more. So.
Like also most like noble mid-card champions with with Jeff Hardy, RVD, MVP. I
used to love watching Shelton Benjamin as the Intercontinental champion.
Shelton Benjamin, you saw athletes come up in there, just see what they.
Bobby Lashley had a pretty good run with the
U.S. title.
And now you got it again. So like.
Yeah,
you need this to showcase who's basically next up in your company, who's gonna be, your ringleader, because it ain't always gonna be Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton as your top champions. You're gonna need some new faces eventually at that top spot instead of just holding back.
Man, they should have learned from John Cena being on top for 12 years and them not having nobody to push with him.
Right, you because they struggle for a couple of years trying to find out who's going to be the top guy.
But see, that's the problem with the mid-card title. It's called mid-card for a reason, because when you're mid-card, you're supposed to go up to the upper card next. So if the mid-cards aren't being used to the manner where you're supposed to go up next, and they're just honestly titles to pass around, there's currently no reason for them. You're honestly just winning a belt that has, in 2020, just no prestige anymore. Just sad, really.
That's sad. It is really sad. Crazy.
That's how it is.
Yep, that looks like that's all the topics that we have for episode 11. Oh wait, I forgot we have a lightning round. Of course we do. And I didn't prepare any questions. I'm just gonna do something off the top of my head because I completely forgot. I'm sorry. So this question is for Big Harv. We're gonna start off with you first. What wrestler does J-Bo remind you of? Or if you had to compare J-Bo to a wrestler, who would? Yeah, that's a better question. If you were to compare J-Bo to a wrestler, who would it be?
I feel like he'd be really technical, so I'm trying to think of somebody really technical right now.
J-Bo
like Matt Bates, like Shorty G. You'd be a Shorty G type cat, and that's not disrespectfully, because Shorty G can go. It's just that his gimmick is trash.
I respect that.
I ain't gonna lie.
That's not disrespectful. Shorty G can wrestle his ass off. He just don't. They don't take him serious.
Yeah. Hey, low key. Not when you say that, I can see it now for some reason. Like Shorty G, he can wrestle, and he be doing a lot of power mat stuff while he's still
like he get in the ring and be intense.
Right, exactly. Right.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Be doing German suplexes. The dude's 300 pounds. So so that makes sense. I can see J-Bo trying to do
where I was coming from. No disrespect on that. Shorty G can go. He just don't get his respect.
Okay.
All right. Now, Harv, what wrestler do I?
Rico.
Oh man! Oh, Rico!
You try.
Oh, that's so disrespectful. Now that one was disrespectful,
right?
Oh, bro, yeah, man. Probably the closest wrestler to ever happen, that you would remind me of is Enzo, dog. Yeah, Enzo. You'd be Enzo. I feel like you wrestle better. You put on a better performance than Enzo, but attitude-wise, yeah, you just talk shit until somebody whoops you behind.
I still win a title, so that's all that matters to me.
Yeah, exactly.
J-Bo, your turn. What wrestler do you think of when you see Big Harv?
I I can see Mark Henry with a slight MVP attitude. That's what I can see.
That's a mixture right there.
I know.
I'm like, that's
sit here
some
and
critical
say-
thinking.
I couldn't hit sit and say just Mark Henry because there's elements to Harv that Henry doesn't have, but there's elements to that smack talking and just saying whatever's on your mind from Montel Vontavious Porter that I had to throw in.
Yeah.
All right, now for me.
Man, that's a hard one. The difficulty with you is that we have been going back and forth on this whole Enzo Amore thing for a couple years to the point where I can't see any other wrestler.
He's synonymous with you. Y'all, yeah, bro, that's crazy. For real. Yeah. Y'all would make the most annoying tag team of all time.
But we would be selling so much merchandise.
Yeah, you would.
I agree.
Rocking J's and Gucci and talking smack.
I agree. Doing rooster dances and all that. Yeah.
It's the Running Man. It just looks like we're supposed to Running Man. That's the Running Man dance back. See, look, you're not hip with the generations. I know you don't keep up with social media and trends, but back in like 2016, 2015, I think that was that Running Man dance when it was like, oh no, I think, yeah, that was that. Yeah,
that was terrible. So continue with the.
It's sold tickets. That's all that matters.
Terrible.
Looks like it's my turn now.
Yeah.
Let's see. Who wants? I'm starting with J-Bo first. I think it'll be easier to think about. Like I said, shoot. Gotta think about this. Like I said, gotta think of somebody. I ain't gonna do Shorty G though. Somebody technical. I got a good one. Cesaro.
Okay.
Athletic. He's still technical, strong as hell because J-Bo is strong. Trust me. He built like that and everything. Yes, he just got everything. He's strong, technical, athletic, and can't talk. So that's a perfect matchup for J-Bo.
He slid it in real smooth.
Okay. All right, fine.
And cut a promo to save his life. But anyway, that's another. Big Harv, a wrestler that he reminds me of. Let's see.
Yeah, come on.
See, Harv is dark, but he's not that dark. So I don't want to compare him to a gothic character. I gotta think somebody's crazy. Does it have to be now or back then? Y'all said people now, so I guess I think somebody now.
That's just a rule that I came up with for myself.
Because I was gonna think my heel Maga, but I'm gonna think somebody else. Because the Maga crazy in there. That's all CJ Harv doing is yelling and hitting people.
That was actually my nickname in football one year. It was before y'all came in, but yeah, that was
just a big dude headbutting people, doing splashes and hitting you with his thumb. Yeah, with hair.
Miss Stengel actually announced me at a game as Umaga once.
No,
she didn't.
I swear she did. It was so dope. Dope.
So like if I said if it ain't Umaga, then shoot, I'm trying to think for real. Because I don't want to compare it to a big dude because I feel like I'm being real biased because he a big dude.
Well, that's what he is.
Yeah, I know he is. I'm
a big dude.
Right. Dang, I can't think of nobody for real off the top of my head. Who did they call the colossal one on NXT? I forgot his name. I'll be watching NXT all the time too. Oh man. Oh, Bronson Reed. That's who he is. Yeah. That's what remind me of.
That's like Bronson Reed.
Yeah. He tough.
He got a decent monster character. Yeah.
Right. Because he ain't bad, but he's still like a semi-good guy. But if you push him to that limit, he gonna mess you up and
right.
and do a belly flop on your bed. That's another story. But anyway, that's all the time we have for episode 11 of KTR _podcast. Be sure to follow us on all podcast platforms. Another Rose Podcast, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Podbean. We're on everything. Just be sure to look out for us. Also, find us on social media, KTR _podcast, Twitter and Instagram, Another Rose Podcast on YouTube and Facebook. Be sure to go on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, click every button on our page except for the thumbs down button. Show some love. Share the love, because we share it back. We listen to everybody that follows us.
That's right.
Yeah, we like to support the wrestling community. But like I said, that is all the time we have. KTR, and we are out.
What should they do, J Harv?
Pump those numbers.
Don't play it wrong. I say good God. I ain't felt the need to kill alone. Respect the J Dot, I'll praise the JR. Crew step wrong, that there's a graveyard. Don't play it wrong.